Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Field of Dreams on ACTN. I'm Steve David and I'm your host. Today we talk futsal football. I know you guys haven't heard about futsal for a while. And I have with me two gentlemen who has been on the show before. And we're going to talk about a little futsal because, of course, we're getting ready, or they be getting ready for the CONCACAF Championship coming up soon, and they will tell you all about it. Let me take time to introduce you guys. Welcome to the set, guys.
Hello. My name is Constantine Constant. They call me Connie, and I'm the head coach of the Trinidad Futsal National Men's Team, and thank you for inviting us.
Anytime. And I don't want to mess up your guys' names, so introduce yourself.
I'm Paul Deckel, assistant coach, Trinidad and Tobago men's futsal.
All right, so we have the coach and the assistant coach who's been here before, and we will talk about some futsal and get you up to speed with what our plans are for the upcoming tournament. I think is in Guatemala?
In Guatemala.
Right, and that's on the 3rd to the 9th or something like that.
May 3rd to May 9th.
Right. So since we met the last time, what have you guys been doing?
Well, it's a long story. We headed back. I headed back to the States because they closed. Were closing the borders.
Right.
So I was on the last plane out of Trinidad, and what we did, myself and Paul, through that time, we kept doing Zoom with the players. So we had Zoom sessions. We continued to send them information, videos, ideas, and until we got the green light for me to come back and for us to get back again and start up the team. But we just recently, how long has it been? About a month now?
5 weeks.
5 weeks. We started February 1st.
First week in February. Yeah.
We started, and but when I came, I had to do 14 days of quarantine. But Paul and the rest of the staff, they had already started up, and but it's been great, coming back. We have a fantastic facility. It's actually our home. It's called the International School, and it's a state-of-the-art facility. They treat us so well there. Oh my God, it's first class. And our players, when they walked in the first time to see the inside, they were like blown away. You could see the motivation when they come to practice. They are really excited to be there because the facility is so attractive, and the court that we're practicing on right now is the same court same material, the surface that we will be playing in Guatemala. So it's a real plus that we have the international school.
Two things for you, Paul. How is it doing Zoom football or whatever? You guys have been explain that to us. How did that happen? And I'll ask you the second question after. Go ahead.
The Zoom helped us. One major way was that we wanted to, because of what we had already started, is that we wanted to be able to maintain some form of communication with the players. Not only because of to try to keep the project alive, but as a team, a coaching team, we also had an interest in ensuring the welfare of everyone, making sure everybody was safe, that their families were safe. And once we were able to do that, then we started to kind of get back on track. And, just to keep their minds active and showing them some of the ideas that we had going forward of what we imagined the project to look like on the court.
And this new facility that you guys have is so great. Location, and is the public allowed to go and watch you guys practice and all of that good stuff?
The facility, as Connie is saying, it's a world-class facility in terms of the surface and the venue. We're not affected by the weather because it's covered. So there are a lot of things that has helped us getting that facility to be able to kind of keep our project on that timeline that we need to be always progressing it. With regards to access to the public right now, no, due to obviously controlling the amount of numbers that we have,
Right.
as well as it's a secure facility as well. So
Right.
the security in and out is also an issue. But you know, the way that it's going right now, we are very pleased to be able to have that surface, obviously, because it's like a dream to be able to train there. And we really feel as a team, as a coaching team, and and the players, we really feel as though we are part of something special being at that venue, you know?
Yeah, I always forget about this COVID thing where we have restrictions.
Yeah.
And so, of course, the public can't go. But viewers, soon you guys will be able to go and see them in person, in flesh. So tell me some of the plans for the upcoming
Well, you know,
championship.
just want to mention again, you know, one of the main reasons why we have the international school is because the backing of the normalization committee, they have been fantastic in helping us with anything we need. And of course, because we have that school is mainly because of the normalization committee. They worked diligently with the school to get us that. The plans that we have right now, we're training 4 times a week. And on Saturdays, we either have double or triple sessions because we throw in maybe a lecture, either a sports psychologist, nutritionist, or we're working on the rules of the game. So we have a morning session, and then we have 2 afternoon sessions on Saturdays. We are planning to train all the way through till we get to around April 24th, and then we head to Costa Rica.
Right.
And we're going to Costa Rica first to play 2 friendly games against the Costa Rican national team. And the normalization committee has worked a very good partnership and relationship with Costa Rica, with the federation. They're doing a really great job for us in Costa Rica. They're going to host us at the Goal Project that they have in Costa Rica. So that's fantastic to see that Costa Rica is really helping us. The head coach of Costa Rica is a very good friend of mine.
Okay.
So that helps, you know,
Right.
Carlos Quiros. And actually, Carlos Quiros, he's the person who helped connect myself and the president of Futsal Federation, with Jeffrey Edwards, about 8 years ago. He got us connected. Then, of course, when we're done with Costa Rica, we move to Guatemala. And then when we get there, we'll be there maybe 2 or 3 days before our first game. And we'll have some practice sessions. Another friend of mine who is the technical director of Guatemala, he's going to set up time and place for us to train. And then we play 3 games in a row. May 3rd, May 4th, May 5th.
Right.
We play Guadeloupe, Martinique, and our last game is against the host, Guatemala.
Right.
And Guatemala is one of the top futsal programs in the CONCACAF. And hopefully, we move on to the quarterfinals from there.
Right. Right. So while Constantine was in the U.S., Paul, you had the guys working out and doing things, keeping them ready.
Yeah.
And tell us about some of the players that we can expect to see great things from. That guys in the squad. Just talk about
Yeah.
the ability.
We have our recruitment process. Obviously started last year, and to get it back going, we were able to call on that pool of players that we were working with. We're now in the process of deciding on a provisional squad of 25 players that we will continue to move forward and work with, or maybe 19 of the 25, and keep them active. We have a very good mix of players. Obviously, futsal has some very specific positions, so we look for qualities in the players. I think we have a great mix of youth, from players of the age of 20, 21, you know, young guys like Mark Ramdeen from Naparima College is there with us. Che Benny, who's a former national youth player that was out in Portugal. We have some experience from the last futsal team, guys like Kareem Perry, that bring a very solid, you know, mindset to what we're trying to do. A lot of good leadership. And we have some guys in between there. We have Sean De Silva, we have Johanse Marshall there with us. Guys that were playing out in Iceland, I believe it is, on a professional level. So a very good mix of youth, experience, you know, current professionals. We have some guys from the TT Pro League that we looked at last year, a couple guys from Defense Force, you know, so we have that kind of military type, character type player. So it's a nice blend of players.
I was going to say, because professionally, guys haven't played for a year or more. So maybe they might be interested in that, but you're only 2 months away. How are you going to bring new players in and out of your team?
We pretty much are locked in to what we have. Yeah, these players have been with us now for 5 weeks.
Right.
And it's very difficult for someone to step in right now because of the things that we've shown to the players. It's hard to get into the rhythm. So right now, we're working our way down. We're going to eventually take 14 players. That's the roster. We'll have 2 goalkeepers and then 12 court players. And what Paul was saying is that we do have some unique individuals. You know, when we went out to look for players, we were looking for tendencies that could transform from football to futsal. And I'll give you an example. We didn't really select any center backs that play outdoors. They do well outdoors.
Yeah, but
indoors they struggled with their feet in the close area and also turning, you know. So we looked for, because you have to have a center defender. It's called a fixo. It's Portuguese, but it means center back. And what we did is we looked at holding mids, because a holding mid can attack, can defend, can lead from behind. And so we picked up a few. We had one guy, Justin Garcia. We looked at Lester. What's Lester's last name?
Aaron Lester.
Aaron Lester is another holding mid. Dylan King is another holding mid. So those are 3 holding mids that we selected, and they're doing fine. They're doing really well. And then we have to find a big man up top, you know. And we have a couple guys, Brent Sam, and we also have Oliveira. Because if you play in a system of 3-1, which is 3 in the back and 1 up top, when you're going on attack, you need a big man, powerful guy up front that can hold the ball, lay it off, turn and shoot. But the rest of the players, they're real crafty, and they're clever, and they move off the ball really well. They're not afraid to take people on. They're creative. And our goalkeepers are very wiry,
right.
You know, and they're learning the game. You know, they're learning how to, what we call split block, right? Where you slide and you blocked a lot of the shots with your foot.
Right.
So that's a whole different way of goalkeeping.
Right.
And a lot of the goalkeepers, they're used to catching the ball, you know, like this. Here, you can't catch the ball. It comes so fast that all you can do is deflect. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds as it's a completely different sport, and I'm sure it's like that because people looking at futsal might say, well, it's same football, it's small goal, right? But it's not. There's a lot of technical stuff that.
No, I look at it for Trinidad, for example. It would be a great version for street ball. You know, for example, in Spain, in the mid '80s, they put futsal in all the schools.
Right.
Because where there was an empty lot, now there's a condominium complex.
Right.
Where there was an empty lot over here, there's a movie theaters.
Right.
So the kids had no place to play. So the schools converted a lot of these courts, futsal courts, in the school premises. And that became kind of their version of street ball. But there is a real sophistication to the game. It's almost like you're playing chess with a round ball, and the players are the pieces. You have to have more technique and even have a higher IQ to play futsal than football, because in football you have a huge space, plenty area to hide or maneuver, and in futsal you can't hide.
Right.
And if you make a mistake, you get punished immediately. So it takes a player who has very good technique and a high IQ.
Well, because I played indoor football, which you use the walls as an extra man, and to me, futsal is just that same game without the walls, because you can't go off the walls. So, but it's high intensity. You can only go for 2 or 3 minutes, and you got to get off and all of that. But so I want you guys to explain some of that when we come back. We're going to take a break. When we come back, so people who look in, or players who look in, can understand what they need to, or what they have to prepare for if they want to get into some futsal football, and maybe it might increase or make your national team a better team. All right, viewers, we'll be right back after the short break.
The staff that we have are fantastic. They're not there to pick up cones. Okay.
Right.
They're there to inject energy, ideas. I'm the type of coach that if I'm going to have people around me, they have to be top notch.
Okay, welcome back, viewers. Before the break, guys, like I was saying, people just looking along wouldn't recognize so much technicalities involved. So I want you to explain just a breakdown, because this game is very new, not very new. It's new, but not very new to the public. And I want them to understand, you know, not because you can play football, you can run and play futsal football. It's a little different in technicalities. Explain some of that to the viewers.
Well, you know, the game is constantly flowing. You stop, the other team pressurizes you.
Right.
They suck all the air out, and you have nowhere to go. So you constantly have to be moving off the ball, and you really have to have 1 or 2 touches. If you're touching the ball more than two times, you're going to get in trouble. But there's moments where there's space created where you can dribble and maybe get a shot off or take a few guys on. But it's not constant. What's really constant is the game is constantly flowing. There's a rotation, a movement. And if you don't synchronize, then you can run into each other, or you don't get back in time, and there's quick counterattacks. The counterattack is really dangerous. So if you force a ball, and that ball immediately turns into a counterattack. And the key to scoring a lot of goals is always looking for the person at the second post. That's where you get a lot of goals. Because the goal is so small that the goalie pretty much covers a lot of the goal. But when you are coming into the near post with the ball, the goalie covers the near post.
Right.
And in that moment, you have to find somebody at the second post to finish it.
Right.
And I think that it's an exciting, it's very quick, explosive, dynamic, creative game that I think that it fits the Trini player. Because I've been here already. This is my 4th time, and the Trini player loves the ball, loves to show flair, loves to show creativity, and that's why I think futsal really can fit into the culture of Trinidad and Tobago.
And Paul, for you, your recruitment, or I would say, or your involvement is with technicality or getting the players to understand the whole game, or what? Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, well, obviously, Connie comes with many years of experience, having played, coached, as well as being a coach educator. So, he's been here a few times, so he has a feel for the culture. So, obviously, working together with him, he has a vision for where he sees our team getting to. A major part of my job is buying into that and supporting that vision and, helping him get that message across to the players. Whether that be, individually speaking to them about their mental approach, supporting him on the court with the individual technical improvements that some of the players need. Because on the grass, they may be very good, but because of the speed of the game and the need for a lot of control of the ball, then there are areas there for them to improve. So, a major part of what I do is really giving him great support and trying to keep the whole team together and progress the project. And, with the timelines, we have to ensure that we are always on top of things, and not only on the court, off the court as well. Last night we had testing to look at the players' fitness levels to see where they're at, and it's a constant process. As you know, the coaching it is a process where you plan, you execute, and then you review. So we are always reviewing. When we leave training at 8:30, we're talking at 10:30 at night, assessing how things went, and then what do we do the next day. And each week we go through that process. Each day, each week, we're looking a month ahead to see what are the things that must be covered. So a lot of what I do is that, and obviously tapping into Connie's knowledge and ensuring that we cover as much as we can.
And because the reason I asked that question is, I listened to Connie talked about he probably used holding midfielders because, and which is true, they have the ability to do a lot more than a full stereotype stopper, central back. But in our country, this country, they had a guy called Leroy DeLeon who was the captain of St. Benedict's when they ruled and he went on he played at the central back, but he's probably the most skillful player we ever had in this country. So you don't see many of those guys like that. And then he went on to play midfield and then end up his career playing up front. But he was that good. So maybe there might be a person like that. So you would be one to spot that person to kind of feed that information to him.
Right.
That's why I asked the question. but I'm sure you would look for players like that.
Absolutely. You know, when we came, we didn't have a long, very short, we had a short time to look at players.
Yeah.
So we went to the league, the pro league, right? I think it was called. And so we went there to look at the players because we, you know, there wasn't time to go travel all over the country.
No, but we did.
But
We did the
ID camps. But the thing is that the ID camps, we did them and we looked at 350 players. We ID'd, give or take. And, but when I came there, because last year, I came like after they did that. And we didn't have much more time to keep looking. So I went directly to see the best, the top footballers in the country and picked from there. But one thing to add, Paul and the staff that we have are fantastic. They're not there to pick up cones. Okay.
Right.
They're there to inject energy, ideas. I'm the type of coach that if I'm going to have people around me, they have to be top notch.
Right.
I don't need people to just say yes all the time to me. When they see something wrong, they come to me and say, Coach, we think that this is wrong. And I have an open door policy. It's important because I don't run my environment is not a dictatorship. It's more of a holistic approach. You have to be open because I have one brain, but if I have other brains around me that can give me input, I will look at that and bring it into the game. So again, you know, our staff is awesome. Maybe you want to talk about the staff a little bit. Who's in our staff, Paul?
Sure. We have Nigel Roberts as our manager. I think one of the pluses of having Nigel is he is a CONCACAF referee, assessor, I believe it is. So his knowledge of the game, he's been to these championships before, is an asset to us. That's what we were able to do, laws of the game with the players. And he was the one that put that together. So because of the differences with futsal and football, now the players need to know the rules. Coaches need to know the rules and be always on top of things like that. You know, so that's one very positive part about it. You know, Nigel is involved in futsal. You know, we have Stephen, who is our equipment manager. He's also a university graduate locally in the sporting industry. So we have the physio and the trainers off of the military, all with experience in football as well. Am I leaving anybody out?
Dunstan.
And we have Dunstan Williams, a South boy, lots of experience as well with the Secondary Schools League, has his own academy. So everybody is coming with a little bit of a background in sport and able to contribute something, you know. And as Connie said, we can't do everything. He can't do everything. I can't do everything. So there's always, one of the things that I like is getting the whole team involved. You know, it gets everybody feeling part of it, and that spreads through to the players. It's important that they see that we are a team, you know, so that all they need to do is worry about playing. Just come and they play. So that's the environment we try to create. Everybody has a space and they can do their job comfortably and as professional as possible.
Right. You know, listening to you guys, and I can tell the difference in the outdoor game and that game is you got to be more disciplined, because if you get caught out the position, it can cost you dearly, and so on. So are you looking for different mindsets of people, or do you do a lot of classroom sessions or a lot of stop, this is where you go, and so on. So how do you guys do that practice?
We're constantly teaching. When I talked to the team in the beginning, I mentioned to them that I don't consider myself a coach. I consider myself a teacher.
Right.
And what we try to do is create a educational environment so that everyone has a time and place to learn. And the players, when they have questions, we want them to come to us. It's not like you can't ask us a question, because then there's not that give and take, right? So it's a very educational situation. We have video, we have our boards, our tactical boards, we have freeze and show the picture when we're playing. We do a lot of different things to help educate the players. The interesting part, and I mentioned this to Paul and to several other people, Trinidad has a very, very good educational system. Now, that's if you want to learn. If you don't want to learn, it doesn't matter what system you're in, you're not going to learn anything.
Right.
But Trinidad has a good base. And what I noticed about the players is that they're smart. And that has a lot to do that they had a good educational background. So they're really excited that when they come, they're not just coming to hear someone yell at them and scream at them or tell them what they're doing wrong. No, there's somebody there that wants to correct them and show them and ask questions and get answers from them, want solutions from them as well. And so that type of environment really brings an energy to the group that everybody wants to be here. And I don't know if you want to add anything else to that, Paul. I mean, what else do you see?
Just the fact that, because we are believing in this group, we also want this group of players to have that belief in themselves. And I think that is going to be a huge part of what we can achieve as a team. We really believe that we have a chance to get to a World Cup. We want to be part of a history-making project. We want these players to be showcased on an international stage, and we want to see them achieve something for the country as well. That's a big part of it, and we are selling that to them, and they are buying that 100%. They want to achieve this. They are hungry, and we just want to keep building on that. Let them enjoy it as well. We want to have fun doing it because, as you know, nothing is guaranteed. So we have to enjoy the process as well. But at the same time, too, giving them that belief and that professional approach that we can really achieve something here.
Do you have timeouts in futsal?
Yes.
How many timeouts you got?
Each half, you have one timeout. And if you don't use it, it doesn't go on over to the other half. There's also one of the rules, if you make per half, after you make 5 team fouls, after that, every foul becomes a free kick. There's a spot 10 meters away that you get to shoot with everyone behind you, just you and the keeper. And the keeper can step up maximum 5 meters to block the shot. They don't have to stand on the line for that shot. So there's all these little teeny rules, like, there's flying subs.
Right.
Of course, you need when you sub, the player who's coming out has to be completely off, and then you can come on. There's the fifth attacker, where you could switch the goalie. The goalie comes out, and so now you attack with 5 players against 4, right? There is a goalkeeper, but it's actually 5 attacking, right? And it's used mainly when you're down and you need to get a goal to either tie the game or come back. And they usually do that depending anywhere between 3 to 5 minutes left of the game. You might start throwing in the 5th attacker. It's very risky, but can be effective. If you get a red card, you have to play down a player for 2 minutes. or until the other team scores, the other team scores a goal. And even if you score a goal within those 2 minutes, you still have to play down a man until the 2 minutes are up, or the other team scores. So there's little, nuances in the game that is different than per se football.
It's like indoor, the penalty box. They get into the penalty box for 2 minutes, right? That goes on throughout the game, though. If like a bad foul or something.
Right. What happens also, if you get a red card, somebody can come in for you after the 2 minute penalty, but you're gone.
You're gone.
You're gone. You get a red card, you're out.
Okay.
You cannot come back.
So there's penalty in the game, like they put people in the penalty box for 2 minutes if they had like a bad infraction?
No. What it is that the penalty is that for 2 minutes you're playing down a man, and the player who got the red card, he's gone.
Right.
But then when the 2 minutes are over, you can bring in a sub to take that player.
I got you. I got you. So that only goes on for a red card 2 minutes. But during the normal run of the game, there is no 2 minutes. No, you just play. Just play. Okay, we have to take a break now. When we come back, we pick up where we left off. Viewers will be right back after the short break.
Nothing great comes easy. So we take the challenge on head on. We're deep into it now. We're on top of everything and working to quite extensive detail, down to bringing in a little bit of the sports science, all the other aspects of it, technical, tactical.
Okay, welcome back, viewers. Now, guys, let's talk about what you hear, not what you hear for, but in the country, what you guys doing right now for that preparation for that futsal tournament in Guatemala. Let's talk about that and what we can expect and what do you need from us supporters or Trinidad and Tobago to jump behind you and ride you home to this victory. We call it a victory because we're going to win, right? So I want us to get our viewers and our supporters excited about supporting this football effort that we're trying to do.
Well, here's the reality, right? There's 16 teams that are going to be competing, and there's going to be 4 spots. So if you make to the semis, the 4 teams make it to the semis, they have an automatic berth to the World Cup in Lithuania in September.
Right.
We need to win at least 2 games in our group to get to the quarterfinals.
Right.
And if we win the quarterfinals, then we're in the World Cup.
Right.
So we are exactly 3 games away to go to the World Cup.
Right.
That's how close we are to get there. When you look at, per se, football, they have a longer journey. They have maybe 20 something games. So we have really the odds.
Good odds
are not bad.
Right.
But at the same time, all the other 16 teams that are going to be competing in it, they also have that same chance. And so what it comes down to is that who is the better prepared, and who wants it more, and who, and with a little lady luck, because you need it, we may have a chance to get there.
So you have a group that you're in yet, or they still need to pick?
No, we are down to, this is it. We're picking very soon the base group of 20 guys, more or less. And then from that 20, we're going to break it to 14.
No, I mean I've seen a whole bunch of countries that's in this.
Okay, you have.
And what group are you in?
Okay,
Yeah.
we're in the group with, again, Guatemala,
Guatemala.
Guadeloupe, and Martinique.
Right.
They're in our group. And then you have other groups. Now, if we are successful and we get to the quarterfinals, the group that we're going to meet in the quarterfinals is Cuba, USA, El Salvador, and Nicaragua. That is the group that we would meet
Against,
there.
Yeah.
And Cuba, they've been to the World Cup, almost every World Cup there's been. They have a young team coming up now because the other team kind of aged out, but they have a league and all year. The U.S. is they've gotten some more futsal there. They've probably used a lot of pro indoor players, what you used to play back in the day in MISL.
Right.
They'll probably use some of them. El Salvador and Nicaragua, very interesting there. They've been playing in a league for the last 5 years, a futsal league. So they're going to be well-oiled machines, the El Salvador, Nicaragua, and Cuba. But again, U.S., U.S., they have talent there, so they'll probably pull out a good team. But it ain't going to be easy. It's not going to be easy.
So you have to win your group to make it to the quarterfinals?
No, if we finish first and second, moves to the quarterfinals.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's even better chance. Better chance for you to get there.
It's going to be difficult to beat Guatemala. You know, Guatemala, they have a professional league. They've been having their league for about 16 years. So we're going up against professionals in futsal.
Right.
So it's going to be difficult. We have a chance, to beat Martinique and Guadeloupe.
Guadeloupe, right?
That's our hope. But Guatemala will be very difficult. Plus, we're playing in their home and their stadium.
Right.
So it's not going to be easy to beat them.
And they have, Guatemala is a good footballing country anyway.
Yes.
And even in outdoor. But so Trinidad and Guatemala is normally better than Guadeloupe and Martinique in regular football.
Right.
So the odds play out
Yeah.
itself.
But for the country you were asking, this is a great moment. I truly believe that the country, every country needs that. They need
Some excitement.
Some excitement. I don't care if it's cricket or basketball or ping pong, whatever. When you have somebody that's going to a world championship, it sparks the whole nation. I mean, what do you think, Paul?
Absolutely. I'm excited. The players are excited. And, we're putting in the work. We're putting in the work every day. As Connie said, nothing great comes easy. So we take the challenge on head on. We're deep into it now. And we're on top of everything and working to quite extensive detail, down to the bringing in a little bit of the sports science, and all the other aspects of it, technical, tactical, mental, physical. So we're trying to really cover all the areas and ensure that our preparation will set the stage for us to be not only competitive, but we want to have a winning mindset, a belief that we can, no matter who we play, we don't care. We want to go into that tournament with a very tough mentality. And, the physical preparation will also set the stage for that extra little boost of confidence.
Yeah, I mean, you guys going out there and representing us.
Yeah.
So what can we do? How can we support? Because there is no football playing here. We can't go see you in your practice sessions. There's no practice games. So how can we support? As a country, we only get behind our futsal team.
I think by doing what you're doing right now, sharing all this out to the public, that I think is the beginning. That's a really good start. Now what we need to do is start to bring other things into it. We were talking about the other day about getting a a bus or open bus
Yeah.
and take the whole team and travel
Right.
through the city, putting music, and so people can actually say, hey, wow, look, there's the team. We want to try to do things like that to help get the country behind us. But the more that we do these things, like the media things like this, right? This is really important. That's where it all starts.
Right.
And I really appreciate that, you opened your show to us.
Yeah.
Because without this, no one would even know anything. So I think that's where it begins. Gradually, what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to do some more video and get it out either through YouTube. That way people can then go and see, a game, because we plan to have some games, practice games. But it's not easy because people cannot go. They can't go and watch us.
But we don't have a futsal league here. Is that in plans for the future?
Well, here's the thing. We prepared the girls team, the U18, to go to Argentina for the Junior Olympics. We did that in 2018. Now we're back again here. This has to trigger the importance of developing a league. But not just a league for the adults, a league from the young ones all the way up, both male and female. If you go to Europe, in UEFA, they have women, they have adults, they have youth Champions Leagues in Europe. In Asia, they have the same exact format. We need to do that in CONCACAF. But before we can do that in CONCACAF, we have to get all the countries starting up their leagues. And by doing that, the next event for the U18 boys and girls is Senegal, is the Junior Olympics in a couple of years. So they need to start creating these leagues so that we can start preparing the players to participate in those competitions. And then before you know it, the World Cup will be back again. So it's essential that leagues are started all across Trinidad and Tobago. And I think the best place to start is in the schools, because that's where the kids are. And a lot of the schools have gyms, or they have a block concrete area. And that's where it's got to get going. I think that it's not so important that coaching education, referee education, that can come later. It's competition. That needs to happen first. And then the coaching education and the referee education will come behind it. That is key, I believe.
So how do you guys have any practice games before you go?
We will. We will. We're looking at playing somebody.
So can I put up my hand and say, come to Point Fortin and play against a select team that we can rigor up? I mean, would you guys be interested in something like that?
We would need you to come to us.
We'll come over there?
Yeah.
Because we have the surface.
Right.
Correct surface. Yeah.
Okay, so if you guys need like a practice game, that can happen, right?
Absolutely.
So let's talk about that. Maybe I can, and then you can show the average, the great footballers who think they're great. When you come to futsal, it's a different game. Yeah, and teach them a lesson or so.
We had a friendly game against someone, and we're talking about some of the, top footballers,
right?
And we played them, and and they really they struggled.
Get a big lesson, right?
They were like, but what was interesting is that they started to do
what
we were doing. They said, wait a minute.
To catch on.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
So, yes, I mean, again, why? Because, again, Trinidad has a very good educational system,
right,
and you have good footballers. And so it's not that hard to get those players bought in to figure out the game of futsal. It's just that you got to have it there. You have to create that platform. And I think that what's key, the most important thing that has to happen in Trinidad, and this will make great footballers as well, is you got to start leagues.
Exactly.
That's it. That's the key. Competition is everything.
I mean, as footballers, you make the adjustment. If you're playing and something is not going right, you have to adjust. So good footballers would always make the adjustment.
That's right.
So and that's what it is.
Yeah.
But I think you guys should try to push for a league, and I mean, make that happen. Of course, I want to introduce futsal into Point Fortin, where I am. We have a facility there. We can make something happen.
No problem. You know, I've been talking to the normalization committee, and they are really excited about this futsal. They never seen it before. They didn't know what it was, and now they come out and they see it and they go, "Wow, there's a wow factor to this," and they see how if you start the younglings with futsal, that it will develop them into really talented soccer players. And the proven fact, Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi, Neymar, Coutinho, Ronaldo, I can go down the list of players who became great footballers who started with futsal. Even Pelé, he played street, but he also played futsal, because futsal has been around since 1930.
Right.
It was created by a physical education teacher in Uruguay. And what he did is he took like a little bit of basketball and a little bit of football and a little bit of handball, and he kind of created this new sport. And what happened was the kids loved it. You get more touches on the ball. You get to be more creative, more shots. It's an exciting game for the kids, especially for anybody. I mean, you got out there, you want to get in there too, because you were a baller. And every baller wants to play, right?
No, speaking of a ball, since you mentioned the word ball, the ball is a little bit different to the normal soccer ball. Explain that to the viewers.
It's a heavier ball, right? And so it doesn't bounce as much. It has a slight bounce, very little. And so it really keeps you focused to play on the ground, play to feet. Now, when you scoop a ball, what we call scoop, you call it 3 fingers, the last 3 toes on your toe,
right,
on your foot, you scoop a ball, you do it with purpose. It's not like I kick the ball there. I scoop the ball to get it past the defender to an attacker running into space, right?
Right.
But basically, the only time the ball is in the air is that if you're shooting at the goal, maybe, or maybe you're clearing a ball. But 95% of the time, the ball is on the surface.
Ground.
You know, so you have to be very technical.
Hey, Paul, before you go, anybody ever scored with the head?
Yeah.
But you don't get much coming off of the head when you hit that ball, do you?
Not a lot, but it is part of the game still, but not a lot. The ball is, as you said, is a lot of the time it's on the ground, most of the time.
Right. In Trinidad, do we have futsal balls in the store that people can go buy and all kinds of stuff? Do you know?
There are a few. Yeah.
There is?
Yeah.
Not much,
You have to look around,
yeah.
but there are some of the bigger stores carry them. Yeah.
All right. I know you guys are going to a tournament. Any parting words before you leave to the viewers?
No, thank you very much for having us. And again, like what you said, we're going to do our best to bring this project as wide to the population as possible to get as many people behind it as we can. You know, we want that push. We want the country to be behind us because we are representing the people of Trinidad and Tobago. This is their team, and we want to make them proud of us. You know, we can't guarantee wins or losses or anything, but we can guarantee that we will represent the people of our country and our flag to the highest level that we possibly can.
I want to thank you guys for being here again. appreciate you.
Thank you, Steve, and thank you for your show.
Right.
And I'm glad to be back again, and hopefully we'll come back and see you again.
Okay, good. And we'll get a victory going on to the FIFA World Cup, hopefully.
That would be awesome.
All right, thank you so much for being here. Viewers, thank you for tuning in. ACTN, thanks for the opportunity. We do have a Facebook page. You can check us out, and we do have an email address, feedofdreamtt@gmail.com. We come over Monday night at 8 o'clock, and we repeat on a Tuesday at 1 and a Saturday at 1. This show has ended. Go in peace. My name is Steve David.